Camping stoves. Which one's right for you? You can go the most popular option, gas, the army option, or the old favourite, Meths. Let's have a look at some of the pros and cons. Help you decide which one you should buy. Okay, we'll start with the most popular, which is gas. Now let's look at some of the advantages of this. It's easy to take with you. You get a super high power flame. It's fairly safe as long as you treat it with care. But there is a few negatives with it. It's not very good in the cold. Temperatures below 0, it does start to struggle. The cans with it are not easy to get rid of. You have to take them to your local recycling centre. Next up, we've got Petrol. Now, this is a very high powered option, very cheap to refill, but it's not recommended for beginners. I don't recommend it ever using it inside the tent. In the cold, extreme weather, performs very, very well. It won't let you down. We've got the army option, commonly known as the BCB stove or Hexamine. Now the fuel tablets for this last about 10 minutes at a time, normally enough for you to warm up your meal or boil a small cup of tea. It does leave a lot of residue at the bottom of your stove you need to clean out now and again, but they're portable, easy just to chuck in your pocket, and very cheap as well. A Meths stove, they've been around for a long time. They give a nice burn. They're fairly safe as long as you take care of them again. It's normally quite readily available, not too expensive to buy the fuel. The problem with alcohol flame, it's sometimes completely invisible. You can see it a little bit now. That just slots through there. Done. So here's an option if you've got a hot tent. Now this is used for warming the tent, but what you can also do is boil water on top of it, cook a pan of sausages, whatever you fancy. Negatives, it does take a long time to cook. You could be waiting 20 minutes to boil a cup of tea. Obviously you've got to get the fire started, and it's no good in the summer. You're only going to want to use that in the winter. Then last one we look at is called the Firebox or Bushbox. Now you can cook directly on top of the flame. Disadvantages, obviously you've got to get the fire started with it. So you need some dry wood in the area. And it's only to be used outside. But then fuel is free. And it folds down flat, quite easy to carry. Let's do a couple of pros and cons for each. So with the gas, you get a very powerful flame from it. Quite easy to find the gas cans in any camping shop, but they are hard to get rid of. It can be slightly dangerous, but as long as you're careful with it, it's alright. And obviously in really cold weather it does stop working very well. The other option was a Petrol, which should only be used by people who really know what they're doing, not beginners. Don't get that as your first stove, whatever you do. It's extremely volatile, but it's cheap to fill up and works really well in any weather. Just don't use it in your tent. Next we talked about the Meths stove. So they can be found quite cheaply as well. They're the safer option than gas. Negatives, can be slightly sooty because you haven't got such a pure flame from it sometimes. Next is the army stove, the BCB. Very simple, folds flat, easy to carry, very safe. Does leave a lot of residue in the bottom, you can see that. It's not very strong flame, that's the only thing. Then we got the wood burning stove for the hot tent. Obviously you can only use this in the winter, and it's very slow. Same with the Bushbox. You need to get a fire going, so you have to find your own fuel for that, and you wouldn't really want to use it anywhere near your tent. Don't set a fire in your tent wherever you do. That's it. I hope you liked the little summary of all the stoves. Let me know in the comments which one you use. I'm guessing most people are going to say gas for this, because it is a very popular option. But I don't know, I think there's a lot more options to choose out there. Possibly ones that are a bit more green for the environment. Thanks for watching that. Catch you next time.